Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Song Theory Podcast. Today, we actually have two special guests. So this episode is going to be with our special guest, Isha the Ghetto Angel. She's originally from Florida, and I've started doing more podcast episodes with local artists or artists who have been in the industry for a bit of time. They have their own kind of, motion and situation. We found her, actually, my wife, who works at a hospital, ended up speaking to them and kind of connecting with them individually, which was really nice. And then come to find out, they both are into some of the similar things that we are here. So, and if you guys are watching this as well, you know that this is a brand new set. This is kind of random and crazy because this is their first time seeing it. But yeah, because, of the conspiracy theory format, for those of you listening on audio, I decided to wrap this whole room in aluminum foil because ain't nobody else doing that on the internet. So why not, right? So as we speak, I just want to get some more information on you. Tell us about yourself. Tell us how you even got into music. Like, how did you get here?
So I'm originally from Florida, small town Florida called Graceville, Florida. I was raised up in the church. So that's where I began to sing or learn that I could even sing. My whole family sings, or they're in music in some way, shape, or form, or they just like to listen to music. So music has always been a part of who I am. I'm an R&B artist. I'm an R&B artist with Southern roots. I like to differentiate that. I'm not a Southern soul artist. I'm an R&B artist with Southern roots.
Okay.
So yeah, I just got into music. Life just happened. I had kids, things, and then I was just like, I need to focus on something. Focus on something that I have a gift. What do you do with your gift when you have such a powerful gift? You give it to the people. So I started focusing on my craft, honing it in, and in the midst of finding my craft or finding myself in my craft, I met my partner. We had a baby, and we just been going hard at the music, building our brands, and getting out there. That's how we met your wife back then.
Yeah. Okay. So I was gonna ask that. So what was how did you guys meet my wife? Like, what was because she gave me a little bit of info, but everyone's not very detailed about their explanations on stuff.
Right.
Okay. So got it. All right. Yeah. Okay. So you met at the hospital. You guys had a child.
Yes,
is that right? Okay.
Yes, we had a baby.
Okay. Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You had a baby. And that's your second.
That's my
second child. Okay. Great. And you talked about something earlier, which really means a lot to me, and a lot of my audience knows this is the case for me as well. Is I also grew up in church. In fact, my entire musical career was from church. And my mom was a huge inspiration because she was a pastor, or is currently a pastor. And what happened was, when she built the church, when she made everything, she didn't have musicians. So she was like, "Hey, I need you to figure this out." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Here's a drum set, figure it out." So of course, I played drums in elementary school for a little bit. And that's why I tell people I've been playing instruments for over 20 years, because I was about 10 when I first started. I'm 31, right? So I started learning drums, and of course, when the church needed me, I had to be on call. I was there playing the drums for years. Then drums turned to piano, piano turned to guitar, guitar turned to singing. And I think what I found about growing up in church, and I tell my audience this all the time, that R&B, the very essence and soul of R&B, my theory is that it's gospel based. And one of the biggest theories I want to talk about today with you, because you're an R&B artist, is your opinion on how the lack of church, or how the absence of people in church, has actually decreased the value of R&B.
I wouldn't say it decreased the value. It's just different.
Okay. So talk. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a new era. Like, we came from church. We know church, and that's all we knew. Like, my family, that's where we were. But now we're in an area, or we're in a year. What do you call it? A millennium.
A millennium. Yeah.
We're in a millennium where we don't have to follow the strict way that everything else used to be. So people are expounding and trying new things, and they're learning different sounds of R&B. It doesn't have to come from the church no more. They people in the shower now. They're right. Like, oh, I can actually sing. Let me put this to a beat. Go to the studio. That's all it takes. So I guess, in a sense, like, for me, I learned a lot of motion, my tone, how to feel through church. I'm a African Methodist.
Okay, right.
So we do those long humming, a lot of pain in the kind of songs we sing. That's how I learned those emotions. But you can learn those emotions in other ways. You can learn those emotions through maybe the artists that have came from those roots, but are now a model or a reference. Like think about Etta James.
Right.
Etta James. Her tone and her voice was something that she gained through her experience.
Right.
Now we use her pain and her experience as a reference point of what a sound sounds like. If that makes sense.
I do see what you're saying.
So it's not so much that the church is the heart, rock, and soul of R&B. That's just where we were originally back in the history and the times and where we came from. We were in church because that's what slavery taught us. That's where we would go to worship. That's a little bit of time that we get to feel and understand the Bible and things like that. We had that little time, but now it's different. We had that time and that was it before. Now we got more time, more ways to think, more things to go see, if that makes sense. More freedom. In a sense.
I think that's interesting because, like I said, the primary theory is that the church was kind of the birthplace of a lot of these, for example, yearning, right? So in church, you learn that you have to open yourself up to the Spirit, and you have to allow it to, you yearn, you profess love to the Spirit, to God, right? So the idea or the theory rather is that when you learn how to profess and claim and yearn in church, you can translate that into R&B songs, which again translate to love and stuff like that. So for example, when I was hearing this theory, it was really centered on how nowadays R&B lacks a lot of yearning. It lacks a lot of I want you. It's more so, I don't need you. I don't need this. Bump this. I'm out of here. Leave me alone.
I don't think that's from gospel, though. I think that's from our change of mindset.
Which I agree. And I think the change of, with regards to that theory, the change of mindset, some believe is the distance from organized religion. And by saying, because you no longer have this sense of community, which a lot of people know that church was your third place, work, home, church. But when you remove the third place, what is your third place? The club? What is your third place?
You get to decide that for yourself.
That is true. and so the theory suggests that because of that, there's been a disconnect in R&B. So now instead of that yearning and that, oh baby, please, on my knees, what they say, can't nobody do me like Jesus, then turned into can't nobody do me like her, right? But now because of that distance, there's no more of that kind of, right? So what are your thoughts on that in particular?
I can see how the way that we learn to communicate through music in church and that yearning that you're talking about and those feelings that we're talking about, I can see if you remove that, where do you get that? So let's say if you don't come from a family of love that speaks love for you to speak out to other people, then that love that the church, the love and the thought process that the church gave, you're not getting from there either. So I understand both sides to that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it could be either or.
What about your experience? So, for example,
from my experience.
Yeah. So, for example, I listened to your song, Do Not Disturb, which I thought was wonderful. It was a great lesson in how to distance yourself and preserve your energy from people who are trying to siphon that from you. Right. And I love the sunflower vase that was kind of on the cover of this song, and
a real sunflower, by the way.
And I'll throw a clip up on here for everyone to see it. And I thought that was significant because sunflowers are supposed to represent freedom, right? So
I just love sunflowers. I love sunflowers. I love roses, and I love the idea of those things like beautiful plants growing in areas that they're not supposed to grow, like a concrete rose. I have a song called Concrete Rose. Y'all check that out. But it's Concrete Rose. It's about things growing up in environments that are harsher. They're not supposed to survive, but yet they are. It makes it so beautiful. So I love to see those types of concepts. Not so much of, I wasn't thinking about freedom when I did it, but it's good to know that that is a symbol.
Well, so now watch this, right? Because when I was looking at it, again, theory, I said, interesting that on the cover, and again, I'll show it here to make sure people can see it. on the cover, it's not just upper left hand corner says "Do Not Disturb." Center frame is the sunflowers, but they're wilting.
Yes.
So in my mind, I said, well, if sunflowers represent freedom and it's wilting, she must feel, or perhaps she feels, a sense of a lack of freedom. And now this "Do Not Disturb" motif, the kind of distance, now represents her trying to gain it back.
So no, whenever I put the wilted flowers, it was more saying that there's beauty in them not being perfect. There's beauty in them not being perfect, and even these moments aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I get upset, and sometimes I need to take the time and, you know what, it's all quiet now. I need some space to calm down. That's in the lyrics, and I meant that. So it's not so much about that. It's about seeing something that's usually perfect.
I like that. Okay.
And still admiring the beauty of it and saying that, you know what, you're beautiful in this moment too.
I like
not
that.
just when you're pumped and in your best mood, but in this phase too, you're beautiful.
Yeah. So with your, so now let's connect some dots. So with respect to your perspective on kind of the new age of R&B and how R&B kind of, moves itself through our culture, and your song in particular, "Do Not Disturb," how do you feel like there's a cross section, like your perspective on that song and how it is R&B, it is within kind of the realm of R&B, but what you're yearning for is not a person,
right?
You're yearning for almost to get yourself back.
Yes. It's and taking that moment to recognize yourself and make sure that you're not getting out of your character. Who are you in this moment? Sometimes situations can cause you to react unfavorably or unlike yourself. So it's important to remove yourself, if you can, safely, to get to a place where you can be like, okay, actually think through what's going on. What did they actually say? Am I overreacting? No. Am I not overreacting? And this is making me upset, but I need to come back later and communicate about it. Is it no, I just don't want to talk to nobody? I have that right. It's my body, it's my choice. Right. But I have to be able to control, to navigate. And if it gets to a point where I can't control it, because sometimes I just get angry.
Hey, you be like that.
Sometimes y'all be angry too. Sometimes it get like that. But you need to take that space and just calm down.
Yeah.
Think about it. Maybe the initial impact, intention, those are two different things.
Yes.
So maybe after you calm down, you reassess the situation, you understand what actually happened. Maybe it might even be a whole different story. It might not even be what you thought it was.
That's true.
So just taking that time to just take a break, see what it really is, see for what it is, instead of what you think it is.
What you think it is, yeah. Because perception is very powerful,
right?
And I like that because, again, like I said before, there is this, I guess, renaissance, right, in R&B, and it's almost like it's less about trying to necessarily yearn or connect with the other person with this outside force, but why I like your song so much, because it kind of leans into this idea that really there are songs that should be focused on you, focused on how you should love yourself and how you should yearn for your own energy. Was Bernard Duran, I believe his name is, incredible singer, I believe I said his name right. I think Duran Bernard. Great energy. Incredible singer, incredible energy. And he made a post not too long ago speaking directly to that. And he was like, you know what? After the Grammys, he won the Grammys, and after the Grammys, he was saying that so many people wanted his attention and energy. And he was like, I was out one day and somebody wanted me to give them an autograph or something. And I was like, no, I'm good. And he had recounted how they came up to him and were upset. Like they walked away mad.
Like
he
they're entitled.
And so he had to make a public service announcement saying, I want y'all to understand something. This is my energy. I don't owe you anything. I appreciate y'all's support, the sales, the listens, but y'all have to give me autonomy, give me space, right? So as an artist, for you, knowing that one day you'll blow up, one day you'll be Billboard this and, a hit single, whatever, right? How do you see yourself handling that attention?
Oh, that's going to be a great thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be scheduling. I'm going to tell you this. There's going to be some things that I just cannot do. Sometimes, like going to Walmart as a celebrity, when I just need something quick, maybe that might not be the move for me.
Over with.
Maybe that might need.
It's done for. You're not gonna do that no more.
Maybe I might need an assistant to handle those things that I don't actually have to be in the face of the public for,
right? So
that I can focus. Because I'm gonna have to be writing. I'm gonna have to doing schedules. I got kids.
Yeah.
I got a partner. There's a lot of moving pieces to it. So, in order to navigate fame, because that's essentially what it is.
Right.
When people recognize your face and they want to come up to you, that's fame. In order to navigate that, I'm gonna need some hands on deck, and there's no way around that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you basically your biggest thing is building out a team. Like, yes. I need a team of people which is funny because a lot of independent artists, they understand the value of teamwork, but it takes so much extra effort because you got to find the right people, you got to find the right roadies, you got to find the right assistants, you got to find all these people, and the amount of individuals I've talked to who are like, man, I thought they were the right person, but I got to find somebody else, right?
Yeah, that's life, though.
It's life.
That's life.
And as an independent artist, are you or have you considered stepping into, okay, I want to get signed? Are you signed?
No.
Are you okay?
No, I'm completely independent artist.
Right.
So where I am in my career, I want to make sure that I have creative autonomy, and I really, that's really like a non-negotiable for me. So at this point, I'm focusing on building my brand, creating streams of income that can satisfy themselves one day, and then just building who I am as an artist and putting that out there, marketing, that's where I am right now, because whenever I do, or if I do get signed, I need to come to them with something to the table so that the numbers make sense to me, so not signed yet,
right?
Working on building my brand, building my portfolio, putting my music out there, letting people, when they see me, they know me as Isha. That's good.
Yeah.
Making sure that happens everywhere I go.
Yeah. Now, what has been your biggest success so far as an independent artist?
So for me, Cornbread Country Fed has been my most successful song.
We will talk about it. Yeah, I love that song. Great song. We're talking.
Yes.
Okay.
Cornbread Country Fed has been my most successful song, and what's crazy is it's different than the type of music I generally write, but it's Southern Soul.
Southern Soul, right?
Yeah, Southern Soul, but I'm not a Southern Soul
singer, artist.
Yes.
Right.
Southern Soul is a subsection of R&B. There's different types of R&B, right? But I'm from the country originally, like that's my roots. So it's natural for me to write that type of music.
Right.
So that has been my most successful song this far. I'm still pushing it real hard, getting that out there. And yeah, that's been my most successful record thus far.
Because when I was looking at it, I had saved some of your posts on my Instagram, and when I was looking through it, I saw you were at ATL Record. What was this?
Record Pool. Yeah.
And you had your cowgirl hat on, and you just had this whole vibe. I think what's great about this is it feels like a theme almost for you, and the way you can build out that kind of motif of like the Southern, I can kind of see you at those like rodeo shows and stuff, and they turn it on, it's like, there it is.
What's crazy is in this thing I had three different outfit changes, so you saw one.
Yeah, I think this is the green and white kind of.
Oh yeah, so that was my first outfit change. So I did 3 different types of outfit changes for marketing purposes. Cornbread Country Fed, I had a crop top and jeans, and I said Cornbread Country Fed. I wanted to make sure that I highlight that. But I also had an outfit in just a regular dress and a regular outfit that makes sure that my identity isn't solely tied to being a country or.
Got you.
So yeah, so I made sure that I did 3 different outfit changes, 3 different versions of my artistry that you get to see live, and you can still see me and you still get the vibe or the gist of who I am. I'm a ghetto angel, baby.
Right. No, that's good.
Yeah, I'm not
like
just
a lot of independent artists. One of the things that a lot of independent artists lack, and after talking to so many of them, some of them lack identity. And so what that means is like, you have an opportunity to show the world this is you. Like undisputedly, whatever you wear, say, do, or go, that is part of your brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as my audience knows, strangely enough, of course, part of my brand is the aluminum foil, conspiracies and stuff like that. But it has made so much for me just to create an identity that's attached to something like that is great.
Right.
What do you feel like as an artist, not just with the Cornbread Fed, not just with Do Not Disturb, but as an artist, what do you feel like your identifier is?
I think my identifier is being real. It's realism, because when you go through my page, you'll see my kids. You'll see my day to day. You'll see me in the garage looking stressed, because that's real life.
Right.
It's not all just makeup and flashing cameras. There's hard days. There's days where I don't have the capacity to write.
Right.
So I try to keep realism a part of my thing. The Ghetto Angel, like, the platform is that all children are angels. I'm gonna give you the platform. I ain't give you the platform.
Hey, there you go. They like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's perfect.
I believe that all children are angels. They say you're sweet angel. Like your wife met us when we had our little sweet angel. But they grow up to be adults. We're adults. So by product, we're angels.
Right.
Or we're angels that have been through circumstances that shaped us how we are today. So that's the platform of a Ghetto Angel. So I always make sure to incorporate that wherever I go.
I love that. And I think for me, when I think about you as an independent artist, I wanted to ask, what is your biggest fear about being signed to a record label? Because as much of my audience knows, I am not anti-record label, because I've worked with record labels. I am more so extremely cautious about record labels because of a lot. T-Pain just made a video about this, and I was actually gonna make a piece of content about it today. And he started off the video by saying, man, all these artists talk about how they're getting used by their record label. Yeah, but you signed the contract, but you agreed to the terms, but and it's like, yes and no. There's some dispute on that, because yes, although you signed the terms, the way that they function sometimes is very much like a slave contract. Like your likeness, your voice, your everything is theirs now.
Right.
And instead of you having this autonomy and being able to move about the way you want, you lose a lot of that.
It depends on the type of deal, though.
It does depend on the deal.
You got to know what you're signing. You got to read those contracts.
And so, which is very true. And that's what he was saying in there, is the type of contracts and everything. But what is your biggest fear about signing with a record label? My
biggest fear is that they will change the way I look toward society.
Yeah. Okay. Because
I'm talking about cornbread country fit. That's what I'm pushing right now.
Yes.
But in a society where we're surrounded about aesthetic and sex sales, and my biggest fear of signing to a record label is them trying to make me into something that I am not.
That's it. That's literally it. Because to me, that. Okay, so when we talk about the selling of a soul, right? We talk about the conspiracies about how people sell their soul. Sometimes it's they talk about the devil, or different entities or demons or whatever. But on a more practical level, what it really is you are taking who you are and what you believe in, and you are willing to step on that in order to get to the next stage, right? So one of the biggest conspiracies in the music industry is about access to opportunities. And I had a guy who messaged me, he DM'd me actually on Facebook, and he said, I want to tell you a story. I can't tell you who I am or any of this, but let's just say, like, I'm an artist who was on the road to being pretty big. He said, I went to a mansion party and I was invited by somebody I was going to sign with, right? Me and my friend went. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you who the friend is, because you would know them, because they are now famous. So we went to this mansion party and we walked in, and they said, hey, just hang out, do your thing. We're going to call you upstairs in a little bit. So they did their thing, hung out, saw a bunch of people that they knew, a bunch of big artists and stuff, right? So eventually they were called upstairs. And when they got up there, they opened the door to this room, and it was a red curtain before you walk in. So the gentleman who invited them said, now listen, before you walk in here, I want to let you know there's an opportunity on the table. You need to take it. Whatever they tell you to do, say yes. So obviously both guys were like, okay, skeptical. So the dude messaging me said they both walked in. When they walked in, they saw 2 cameras, red lights on, meaning they're recording. And they had about 3 people sitting at like a table. He said he recognized all 3 of these people. He knew exactly who they were. Big wigs, music industry executives, right? He's like, I'm not gonna tell you their names, obviously. But he was like, they sat us down and they said, well, look, we understand you guys are growing artists. You guys are big. We want to foster that. We want you guys to sign with us, and we're going to offer you this many millions of dollars tonight. sign here. It'll be wired to your account by the time you wake up. Okay. The friend was like, oh my God, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it. While he was like, okay, what do we have to do? He said they got up and they were like, well, we want to have sex with you. So bend over. You look at the camera here. You look at the camera here, and we're going to do what we got to do. And as soon as we're done, sign a contract and that's it. The gentleman messaging me was like, I ran out. He was like, I ran out of there. I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. And the gentleman that brought them was like, where are you going? He's like, I'm not doing that. What do you, well, you know, and he's like, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. You'll never get this opportunity again. Are you sure you want to leave? He's like, yes. If this is what I got to do, I'm not doing it. Ran out. 2 or 3 weeks later, his friend never contacted him again. And now he's a massive artist.
Wow.
God
didn't bring me this far to have to fuck for it.
Hey,
you can cut. Look, you can cut that out.
No, it's perfect. because that right is the essence of selling your soul. The essence of it is doing something that is so against you that you're like, yeah, but the opportunity, I'm gonna do it, right? So a lot of my audience knows like there are these recorded instances of people who have done that to get on a record label, to get into these rooms with really successful individuals, right? So in your perspective, like you said, if I got to do all that, it ain't for me.
Right. So I don't think God brought me this far. The way that I've gotten this far was nothing but God. That's not God. There's no way that could be God.
No, it's not.
So no, I wouldn't be willing to do that. That's why being an independent artist, it's more than just being the artist. You have to be all the heads. You have to know all the pieces so that you can get yourself in the room that you need to be into. Yeah. That you don't have to sacrifice your dignity for. Yes.
And that's what you were talking about when it comes to image.
Right.
When it comes to image, the biggest thing is for women. There was a woman who was on Instagram. She was doing an interview with another gentleman, and I forget her name, but he said to her, what is the biggest thing that's happened to you so far in the music industry that you really hated? And she was like, my record label, my agent came to me and they offered me a free BBL.
That's what I mean by aesthetic.
It's like, wait.
Changing the view of, what about real?
Yeah, obviously she declined it, but then when you think about all the other artists, like women who've gotten those surgeries and these fillers and the thing, I can only imagine the pressure they were under to do it. Right. SZA is an excellent example. Although she loves my content, we're good, we're cool in that level. I do still feel for her too, right? Because I recognize that SZA started there. She started here, very natural, very just beautiful, gorgeous woman, like everything, voice, everything. Not to say she's not still gorgeous, because she is, but she's gorgeous on a level that you can tell. Somebody tapped her on the shoulder and was like, we need you to zhuzh it up a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cardi B, very similar. And some other artists, great women, incredible people. But you can tell that somebody along the road was like, you got to change the way you look or else. That is not downgrading them, their artistry, who they are, what they do, their impact. Not at all.
Right.
And I don't shame anyone for doing it because, again, being a woman in the industry, which is something we're going to talk about, it is one of the hardest. It's 3 levels, right? There's men, women, and children. Being a child in any industry is the worst because you have no say so.
Right.
Being a woman is a little worse, of course, because although you're an adult, there's still a lot of terrible men.
I've been told that as a woman, a man has to open the door for me to get in anywhere in music.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about
that. That's a good theory. A man has to open the door.
A man has to say yes. Give her a chance.
Okay, so let's break that all the way down. All right, this is great. All right. So to assert that would suggest that every door that can be opened, a man is standing either in front of it or behind it.
Absolutely.
When you think about the music industry and you look at, let's say, the top 5 record labels, which are Universal, you got Sony, you got Warner, and I guess let's say top 3, right? Universal, Sony, and Warner. All 3 of those are owned by men. all the subsidiaries, so Atlantic Records, Capitol, right? All those are also owned by men. I cannot think of a single record label, subsidiary or otherwise, that's owned by a woman. I can't think of one.
At the top.
At the top. That's what I'm talking about. Like the one that would, it depends on your perspective on open the door, right? But when I think of ownership, I can't think of a single woman that owns any of these things. So when that person said that to you, at first I wanted to disagree. Like, no. But then
you gotta think realistically.
But then I'm like, no, wait. Well, I mean, if you think about it, although a woman can help hold your hand to the door, they can't open it, and that's a problem. That is a problem. I don't like the fact that, and that goes. We're talking about blackness as well because of how many folk who don't own, who are not black as well. But when you think of the lack of women who are in ownership, it is sickening. And the lack of women in ownership means that there's more abuses that happen toward women because there's not enough representation.
Who's gonna protect you? Who's gonna protect you?
Who's gonna do it? Right. And so so I do have, when it comes to women and children in any industry, I automatically have fear because I had several offers. I worked in television and movies, and I had a producer come to me. And they were like, hey, you have a kid? I was like, yeah. They were like, can I see a picture of him? I said, sure. Show a picture of my kid. They're like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Hey, listen, we actually do have some modeling and acting things I think she'd be really great for if you know that she can follow directions and stuff like that. And I thought about it. And I said, nah, we're good. Because if I find out that my child was abused in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I'm airing the whole place out. I don't know what to tell you, because unfortunately, there are parents who sell their own children into the slavery of entertainment, right? And they say things like, well, they're offering us this mansion, these houses, these cars. Yeah, take them. They have no idea what's happening to those kids, right? But let's go further. So these kids grow up, or rather, let's say anyone outside of the industry, a woman, for example, they are so used to having to bend the knee to a man that they go, oh, I got to get a BBL. Okay. Oh, I got a lip filler or this. Okay. They're just so used to saying okay because they never had autonomy.
Right.
What I like about you is you're telling everybody you have this autonomy that's unshakable. And even in the face of an opportunity being taken or whatever, you're like, take it. Because if I have to do this in order to have that, I don't want it.
I'll take the long route.
That's it.
I'll take the long. That's just it. I'll take the long route.
And the long route has worked. There's a bunch of examples of independent artists who've succeeded. For example, Chance the Rapper, who is his last album is sitting right there on my wall because one of my favorite artists, has been independent since day one. Now, that does not mean you cannot take offered money or brand deals or anything like that, because that does help you build your brand.
Right.
But the biggest way that someone like him as an artist has built that independence is actually through social media. So let me ask you a question. How have you been using social media to build your independence, and how well has it been working?
So actually, social media has been complicated.
Okay.
It's been very complicated. I've invested a lot of money, time, and energy into social media. However, at certain points, you kind of get blocked. They only show your content to certain people, or there's different ways. They change the way that you engage with other people.
Right.
So, like for me now, I have to send my posts directly to people just to make sure that they get them. Versus where back in the day, everybody used to see everything. So it just changed the way you have to market towards those people and use the platforms. A lot of times I got some insight one day to say, hey, have you been using the inspirations on Instagram? I'm like, no, I never thought about it. But if you think about it, you're using their platform. They want you to use their tools to promote their platform while also promoting yourself.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things you have to take into account.
Yeah, but that right there is that's right. That's why I use my social media platforms to promote artists. Because what I realized was, because I work within music, but I'm not a musician and I don't promote music, I actually have more access to more eyes. It's weird. I don't understand it to this day. But because I engage with artists and I'm able to showcase artists, I have artists getting more views on my pages than they get on their own. I don't get it. I don't know why that's the case. But having the ability to do social media is great, but I do feel bad for artists because it takes a bit of the artistry away. It almost feels like you have to become your own marketing agent, your own, brand ambassador, your own, like you gotta, which is the, I suppose one could call it the curse of independence, but it's a blessing because it is all you.
You got to follow the trend.
You got to follow it. And no one here likes to dance, right? No one wants to.
I'm not a dancer.
No one's a dancer. I'm not a dancer. So like if I was an artist and I had this super huge song coming out and I loved it and I was like, this is it. You ever made a song and you're like, oh, this is it. Like, okay. But now you look and you go, I gotta do a TikTok dance, man.
No, you know what? Lately they've been telling me because Cornbread Country Fed is more of like a trail riding line dance. They said put it out there. Somebody make a dance to it.
Yes, which is true. You ain't got to dance to it, but putting it in the way of people who can dance to it will grant you more access and views, right? But I did realize that like there's a theory someone had came up with regarding how artistry nowadays transformed from artistry to now attention seeking, which when you make art, your goal is for it to be seen, but it's on a different level because before you would make a song and you would have it on the radio or you would have to hustle yourself to get on there and talk to this person, talk to that person, right? Now that kind of human connection is gone. Now it's like post. Have you ever seen an artist who posts the same song not 3 times, not 5 times, not 12 times, 24 times a week? One song.
Yeah.
24 times.
And repetition is key.
It is key. And what they were talking about was like how annoyed they are that they even have to do that because they feel like they're spamming the like, dude.
That's a fear that as artists, especially as independent artists, that's something that we have to get over. Because if you're selling something, they have to see it. You have to put it there. You have to put it in their face.
Yes.
It's a hit. Put it in their face.
It's a hit. Yeah.
That's something you have to do.
Because you're giving
I'm
them
talking to myself right now.
Hey, that's good. Well, you're talking to a lot of people.
I'm talking to you too.
There's a lot of people who have to learn the value of annoying at people. Like, it sounds crazy.
Well, if you think about it, like, look at how many McDonald's there are. Remember back in the day, there used to be commercials.
There's 2 on every block.
All the time. Every commercial break, you seen a McDonald's commercial.
Yeah.
And then, now you hungry for McDonald's?
Yes.
It's a mind thing.
And also it's marketing, right? So I'm a marketing specialist. And so in doing that kind of work, what you learn is 2 things. Number 1, it takes over 7 touch points to sell anybody on anything. 7. Okay? Meaning, after the 7th time someone sees your face or hears your song, there is I believe 60 or 70% chance that they will engage with you, whether it's a follow, a like, a comment, something that engages with you. The second thing that I learned about marketing is that persistence is also key. It's not just about posting it that 7 times and leaving it alone. You really do have to post it 28,427 times before
differently.
Differently. In different ways, in different formats, I say unfortunately because I feel like that's, although artists have more access to eyes now and ears now than they ever have before.
Absolutely.
I do also recognize that the amount of work it takes to get those eyes is crazy.
Just get and sustain.
Thank you. Because someone can watch you after the 7th time, but are they going to stay?
Right. Are they going to engage?
Are they going to engage?
Are they going to comment, like, subscribe?
So for me, right, exactly. So for me, when I think about, let's say, a recent artist that I started getting into, this is a great point I want to make. There's a recent artist I just followed yesterday. Incredible voice, great playing, guitar player, right? White guy. Great. I don't know his name.
Touch point 1?
This is important, right? Even though somebody can enjoy your art and love what you do, if someone were to ask them, oh, who do you like listening to? They might go, she has this song and it's so good. Cornbread Fed. It's a great song. What's the artist's name?
They call me Cornbread.
Hey, but that song though, right? And so What I tell artists all the time is you have to work on branding. Mm-hmm. Every single time you post a video, it's got to have your name at the top, bottom, or middle. You got to say your name in the track. You got to put it all over the place because otherwise people will forget. People have short attention spans. Mm-hmm. I'm one of them. Yes. And if I'm scrolling, and I don't necessarily know who you is or what you got going on, I'm not going to remember, oh, that's so-and-so, blank. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these names nowadays are like real complicated. There's this guy named like Soul the Wielder Sword Slasher or something like that. I'm like, brother, I'm not going to remember that. So it's good to have an artist name, an identity, a brand, not just the music, but branding is huge.
Yeah. So my name is Isha.
Yes.
So my real name is Talisha, for those of you that don't know, but I do it for all the Ishas all over the world. We got Quisha, Misha, Nisha. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about how it is to be an Isha in this world. I'm a nurse. I'm in school for my doctorate. I got qualifications. I got years of experience. I've been a nurse for 9 years. But because my name is Talisha, sometimes I don't get the chances that Ashley would get. Just solely based off my resume, just my name. That already gives them a picture of who I am. But I'm more than that, you know. And sometimes I don't even get the opportunity to interview so they can see who I am.
Right.
You know, and that's something that a lot of Quishas, Ishas, Mishas, Nishas, anybody with Isha, and they can relate to that.
Right.
You know, so I put it on for
that's
all
good.
the Ishas
I
in the
like
world.
that.
Isha. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good branding right there.
Yeah.
Like, because you're speaking to something that's so cultural and systemic, right? And you talk about people with these different names, and it's like, well, I support and represent that. You know what I mean? Which is really fun. Now, I want to ask you, you know, because obviously my page is called Song Theory. I talk about this. Mm-hmm. What has been a song that you've listened to that you just knew for sure? There's a deeper meaning in this.
Lamborghini Mercy.
Lamborghini Mercy.
No, it's the
which one?
The weeping in the moaning and the gnashing of teeth in the background. I said,
oh,
who?
Oh, that's right.
You won't do that to me.
So for those of you that don't know, the phrase "weeping and moaning and gnashing of teeth," I believe, is a reference to a biblical scenario that described hell. Is that right?
I don't know what it described, but it did something to my spirit that I didn't like.
That's
I
funny.
Just turned it off.
I believe, and I'll put it up here on screen to make sure that we're on the same page here. I'm pretty sure that is describing hell. Like, it describes what hell is like. Mm-hmm. So the weeping and moaning and gnashing of teeth are people who are sad, depressed, and like gnashing of teeth. I don't know,
but my spirit said,
yeah.
I was like,
gnashing of teeth, for those that don't know, is when you're in so much pain that your teeth are breaking because you're biting down. So that song had that in it?
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Listen to the background. It's in the back. Well, the way I listen to music is in layers. I don't know if
that's good.
I don't know if all artists do that.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
If you have an ear for music, you're gonna hear that. I never actually heard that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take
well, I'm gonna hit you with one. Okay. So 3 6 Mafia. First of all,
I had to hear that.
It's not even a song yet. The name 3 6 Mafia alone was like, dang, wait. You know what I'm saying? So as you know, they are from Memphis hip hop scene, right? Which, if y'all don't know, I'm going to do a podcast episode on the Memphis rap scene because it is one of the most like mythical, satanic connected. Like, it's a lot of that in there. And I'll get to that one day. We'll talk about it. But for now, 3 6 Mafia was a part of that era. Mm-hmm. And they made a song, I Want to Stay Fly. Stay fly, right? Now, if you listen to the first 5 seconds of the song, there is a loop, right, that goes on. That loop, although it is a sample from another older song, if you listen to it, it sounds like they're saying, this is what it sounds like, okay. You're my king, you're my father. That's what it sounds like. People who started listening to the song listen to it over and over again, and they started hearing something. It started sounding like it's saying, Lucifer, you're my king, you're my father, throughout the song. Mm-hmm. And so as you listen to the song, the lyrics, even as they're rapping, is like very spiritual. And you're like, oh, this is what's happening here. And one of the biggest things that people talk about is, and I have so many people online who are like, bro, you're reaching. This doesn't make any sense. Listen, I'm going to look in the camera when I say this. I can't help it that your favorite artist keeps bringing up God and Jesus and demons. I'm not doing it. It's them. I don't know why they're doing it. I have no idea why they keep bringing up that kind of stuff. I don't know why they keep dressing like demons and angels if they don't believe in them, right? Because if you're thinking to yourself, well, it doesn't make any sense because, they're just using it as a motif and it's not real. If it ain't real, why do they keep doing it? They keep doing it. And
now you're talking to a ghetto angel.
That's what I'm saying.
It's symbolism.
Right. But you as an artist know that there's symbolism and you believe in the symbolism. There are people who look at me like I'm crazy when I point out the symbolism from other artists where Doja Cat is dressing up like an entire demon. And they're like, oh man, she's not really demonic. Brother, okay, so let's say it's just a motif. Why keep doing it? You did it already.
Well, it's also the mindset of why you chose the motif you choose.
Right. You could have one thing I like about SZA.
You could have chose anything.
Yes. One thing I like about SZA, and man, I talk about her a lot, but I love the way that she doesn't use Judeo-Christian biblical references and a lot of her stuff is more esoteric. It's more like Eastern Asian, a lot of meditation, a lot of things like a lot of the stuff she talks about is more so in that realm because that's the motif she chooses to use. SZA is not choosing the motif of demons and hell and angels and God. Like that's not. So I ask people, I beg the question, if they don't believe it and that's not their purpose, then why do they keep using the motif? At some point, we have to accept that either they believe in what they're talking about or they believe what they're talking about. Sorry.
Wait a minute now. We talked about labels, right?
Yes.
So a lot of times when you're in a label, your creative space isn't necessarily yours. Sometimes they take an idea that maybe may have been a one-time thing, say, you know what, the people like that, give them more. And because you sign paper, because you owe them money, because essentially it's all about money, you got to do what they say. And you better look good while you do it.
Wait. Okay. So you're saying that a lot of the motifs dealing with devil, angel, demons, whatever, that we see a lot of our artists do, you're saying right now that sometimes it's not the artist choosing to even do that motif. The record label is making them do it.
Yeah, sometimes, yes. Sometimes it can be.
But why? Why would the record label tell the artist to make a motif music video about Satan and rising from hell and celebrating demons?
Because it's a myth. Because not a myth. Not because it's a myth, but because of money. You're talking about it right now.
Right. That's
a view. That's a buy. That's a listener.
Got you. Okay.
It's money. It's all about money.
Right.
It's all about entertainment. Whether entertainment clashes with your morals or not is not what they care about. They care about, is it going to make them money?
Right.
So that's one thing. That's why I'm scared of labels in a sense, because I don't want to lose myself, my morals, the things that I believe for money.
Right.
The goal is to make money eventually, you know. But I want to do so in a way that keeps me at the center and my morals and what I believe.
I believe that. That's awesome. I think it's interesting because I tell people that, yes, money is the center of, unfortunately, a lot of motivation in life. And when I think about how these record labels have used these artists and like you said, made them talk about these things and they say, well, if we can get Lil Nas X to a stripper pole dance down to hell into Satan's lap, that's money, right?
Did you watch it? Did you see it?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Did you hear about it?
I heard about it. Yes.
Okay.
And so, yes, I think that is true. It's a mechanism to create pathways for more money. But then in the back of my conspiracy mind, I just believe as well that if it is true that you guys see it as a money grab, but a part of me really thinks like, nah, somebody at the top believes this is somebody. There's got to be a person, a producer, an executive who really do be like, nah, like, hell, Satan, no, for real. Like, I mean, actually, but hey, let's have him stripper pole down to hell into Satan's lap. It'll be a good view. Like, I do think truly either the artist or the people surrounding the artist actually believe in some of the stuff that they're putting into this stuff.
And that's why you got to be careful who you surround yourself around.
Yes, exactly.
And your labels, and know what you get into.
Yes. And so, okay, outside of just the music industry aspect, right? What is, and I have found that Black people tend to be more conspiratorial than most people. I think that has a lot to do with our history, with what we've been through.
I completely agree.
Okay.
Like I told you, I'm a DMP prepared nurse. So I did research about Tuskegee, the syphilis experiment.
Yes.
After that, who gonna trust who?
Not a lot.
Now, if y'all don't know about the Tuskegee syphilis experience,
if y'all don't know, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know how you're watching this.
How you gonna trust medicine after that? How you gonna trust
trusted people? A lot. I've told a lot of people about this several times, and so I wanted to ask you, what is the conspiracy theory that you 100% truly, no holds barred, no filter, believe in?
I really do believe Tupac is alive, and he got to be alive. He got to be alive.
Okay,
he got to be somewhere hiding.
Okay, dig deep on that one. So why do you believe that?
I just, in my heart of hearts, I love Tupac. So I just can't imagine a world where he's not in it. If that makes sense.
It's a little bit of cope.
It's like
you're trying to cope with the idea. Yeah.
Like when you have those artists that are influential and they just die like out of random. You just like people seeing these people that look like them in different areas. You always have that thing in the back of your mind, like, is that really dead?
That's true.
know.
Now I will hit you with this. So I made a video about this some time ago. There was a man in the Philippines who looked exactly like Tupac. I'll put a picture up here for you guys to see. And there was discourse online about what they call like the immortal artist, right? And somebody was like, it's not necessarily that Tupac isn't dead, but the way record labels work is that now, especially with AI, holograms, computer programming, his consciousness, his voice, his essence is not dead with his body. It is still here. Do you remember back in like 2011, they did this hologram concert? That was one of the most eerie. It just felt
They did it
weird.
Recently with Whitney Houston.
No. No.
Whitney Houston and Christina Aguilera.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I hate that. Like, I hate hologram artists. I hate AI voiced artists. XXXTentacion and Juice WRLD. Two really great SoundCloud rappers came out in the mid 2010s. Both died tragically, very young ages. They had them both on a track, and I'm like, this isn't real. This isn't right. I hate this. And the concept is called the immortal artist. So I feel like that Tupac is not alive physically. I think he's alive by way of these computer programs where his consciousness, right, his voice, his essence is like trapped. You know what I mean? And all these artists who want to rest can't, because if you want to rest, right, and spiritual, let's talk spiritually, right? And somebody keeps using your disembodied voice in a song that you never made, they're creating a reality where you still exist. And in my mind, I'm like, that is disturbing. I don't like that. And a lot of record labels make you sign contracts. It's an AI clause that basically says, when you die, because we all gotta go. When you die, we are going to use your likeness, your face, your mannerisms, your voice, your everything, and we will repurpose you however we feel fit. Imagine being a person and someone says, when you die, we're gonna repurpose you. Yo, that sounds like the most predatory. I can't.
That is gonna affect your generations for centuries.
Yes.
And it's new. It's new because AI is new.
Now, arguably, many of you out there have had this discourse with me before. Yes. Do the families continue to benefit financially from this? Yes.
I hope so.
What
did they sign on that contract though? How much?
If they did it right.
If they did it right.
If they did it right, they have a will, and that will is signed to somebody who manages their estate. And when everything happens, they're able to benefit. There was a producer that died recently, really famous producer, died young. I believe his name was
Big Rankin. You talking about Big Rankin?
No, the one that did the records for Drake and the other art, not Zaytoven. It was another producer, huge producer. I'll put his name up here on screen. Take Keith. Thank you. Her husband just reminded me. Thank you.
Husband, okay.
Oh wait, oh I'm sorry, am I speaking something into existence? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, my bad. Tay Keith. So Tay Keith did not have a will when he died. And so all of his assets, his cars, his Lamborghinis, his Rolls Royce went to somebody in his family. They just picked somebody and was like, you're going to manage his estate. One of the things I tell artists all the time is make sure you have a will. Because if you have a song that blows up and you die the next day, you got to make sure
somebody knows what to do with it.
Yes. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of life. When you live, you die. And when you succeed, you have to have somewhere to put it. And so when it comes to your conspiracy about Tupac, I think the idea of him being alive physically, I think is, to me, his spirit cannot rest. What we all feel, what we all almost get a sense of, like energetically, is not that Tupac is physically alive, but we get a sense that he's not at rest. So all of us are like, where is he? Like, where is he? We know where he is. He's on our computers. He's on the laptop. He's, every time they choose to repurpose his voice and his face, there he is.
Right.
It's just not in the form that we're thinking of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think my biggest conspiracy theory that I truly believe is something called frequency manipulation. Right? So Michael Jackson talked about some time ago about how when you create a song, there are frequencies that you can both hear and not hear. There are both hypersonic, which means they're too high for you to hear, and there's hypersonic and there's infrasonic. Infrasonic is too low for you to hear. And these frequencies manipulate your psyche and your spirit. I believe in that because when you go and do something called frequency therapy, they do things like they have these bowls, right? These sound bowls, they hit them at certain frequencies and they can heal your body, right? I believe it's called a sound bath. I think it's called. If you can heal your body through sound baths, right? Ancient Egyptians used to worship cats. They used to worship cats because one of the reasons is because they believed that cats were the gateway to the spirit world. One of the things that cats can do, and this is scientific, this is studied, meaning like people have studied this. When a cat vibrates or they purr, that vibration, that frequency can actually heal your body. Okay. So if a cat can heal your body through vibrations and purrs, ancient Egyptians used to worship them. And we know that frequencies can heal your body. That also means they can harm your body. So that must mean inversely that there are artists out there or record executives whose sole purpose is to create a song that makes you angry. That creates a song that makes you violent. Creates songs that make you irritable. So now when you go to certain areas in the neighborhood and you think, it's like, why is there so much violence? Why are the people, what are they listening to? Okay. What songs do they consume? And then you start to see the results of that. Go to another area with not as much violence, not as much crime. What do they listen to? Watch this. Back in the 1990s, there was a study done in a small country town. And they were studying the effects of country music on a population. They found that the areas that listened to more country music had higher suicide rates.
Wow. What was the correlation?
They believe that country music, whether the frequencies or the lyrics or the subject matter, are typically more sad and more depressing than most music. R&B is a little bit more lovey-dovey. Rap is a little bit more hardcore, but more confident, right? Even rock and roll. But country has a specific vibe to it. That's like, my dog ran away, got hit by a car. My girl left me for my best friend. I'm drunk on the side of the road. I lost my job, right?
Like blues.
Like blues. Very much like blues, right? And so when they saw these areas that were consuming more country music, they found that these areas were actually had a higher rate of depression and suicide. So what I tell people all the time is be careful what you listen to, because you might think, oh, I like this song. It's my favorite song. Yeah, but you've been depressed for 6 weeks. Have you considered, not that depression cannot come from a chemical imbalance in your brain and all that, but have you considered not listening to that for just a little bit?
Yeah.
Consider listening to music that's more high frequency, that's a little bit more higher vibrational. Listen to more encouraging music,
Ultimately, it's your thought process.
It's your thought process.
Subconsciously. You're digesting whatever the lyrics you're
Exactly.
listening to.
Listen to Cornbread Fed. Right? It might get you out of a rut.
It might get you cooking.
Yeah, it might get you dancing. You never know. And so that is my biggest thing. And I think what people overall, just, your story, the stories of other people, just understanding that you have power in every lyric you write, in every song you make. Mm-hmm. Cornbread Fed might be the song that pulls somebody out of a depression. Do Not Disturb might be a song that, because of its vibe and its frequency, might get somebody to learn how to love themselves better.
Take that second.
And take that, and that is the power of music. That's the power of what people do and why it's important that they keep creating. Mm-hmm. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because when I saw that, I was like,
thank you.
I want to talk to you about that. So thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. Are there any final thoughts, anything you want to plug to the camera?
Well, you guys, if you like this podcast, make sure you follow me on at Isha Thee Ghetto on Instagram, Isha Thee Ghetto on all other platforms. And yeah, just make sure you listen to those songs, feel how they feel, tell me how they feel, like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. My name is Isha. It's been really, really nice to meet you guys.
Yes, thank you all so much. Please follow her. And also, are your songs available on streaming platforms?
So all major platforms, you can look it up. But I encourage you, when you type the name of the song, like Cornbread Country Fed or Do Not Disturb, that one has not been released. It'll be released soon. Ooh. Make sure you follow me. You got to follow me to figure out when it's coming out.
Okay.
So you can get all the feels. But make sure you guys go on there, follow me, like, subscribe, and then follow me so you can get the information about when those songs are going to be released. You can find them anywhere. They're going to be on all platforms.
I love that. Thank you all so much. And again, you guys know the Song Theory Podcast. Follow me on all platforms. If you're on audio, please make sure that you follow. You can comment on Spotify. I found that out recently. I've been replying to you guys. Thank you so much. And also thank y'all for making this a top 10% global podcast. It warms my heart. I'm able to have people like this on that have, such incredible stories that can tell it to you guys, and we can throw it out into the world, right? And also, if you all want to watch this podcast on video, you know that the video version of this podcast is on Patreon. That's patreon.com/the Song Theory Podcast. It's just $5 a month. Subscribe, and you guys can see what this room looks like, because if you don't see it right now, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Everything's covered in aluminum foil. You don't get it until you see it. So come on through. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a great day and a better tomorrow. God bless. I'll see you all later.